Goal is a very special game, though not for any reason that someone would actually want it to be special. You see, Goal is the most expensive Famicom sports game. Okay, technically there's a couple of other sports games that command higher prices, but they don't actually resemble real sports, so I'm not counting them. And why did I make air quotes for sports? It's not like you could see that. Anyways, if you want a copy of Goal, it will cost you about 6,000 yen. And that is really one of the worst purchases I've made in my Famicom collection. You might have noticed on the side here that while the Famicom game is Goal, internationally this is Goal 2. The reason for that is that the original Moero Pro Soccer from back in 1988 was released as Goal in the US and Europe. I don't know why Jaleco decided to change the Famicom game's title. Maybe they were just trying to pull away from the Moero line at that point. While Goal offers a few different game modes, there's really only two different things. You can pick any two teams and pit them against each other, or you could play out a version of the World Cup, selecting a national team from several different groups, and then competing in that group until you've won, at which point you advance to compete against the teams that made it through. You can set what formation you want your players in before the match, but once you've made a selection, you are stuck with that until the end. And given the way that the game plays, I'm not really sure having control over this helps. The field is viewed from an angled perspective, and there is an option from the main menu to set how you control, whether up and down move you toward the goal, or whether or not the controller is orientated for the screen. When you have control over the ball, the A button kicks and the B button passes. Or maybe I should say the B button theoretically passes. What it actually does is just kick the ball in the direction that you're running, so the exact same thing that you did when you hit the A button. You can hold down the B button to do a long kick, lobbing the ball up into the air and causing the screen to zoom out for a moment. That zoomed out view is the only way to have any idea of where your players are on the field. And you can only get it when somebody's doing that kind of kick. If you don't have control over the ball, the B button will switch which player you're controlling, including cycling through players that are off-screen, so you'll have no idea where they are or what direction you need to move in. The A button, well, the A button's complicated. If your opponent has control over the ball, then the A button will do a slide. If you connect just right, then this will steal the ball from them. I managed to pull this off once. If no one has control over the ball, and the game defines control over the ball very loosely, then the A button may attempt to do a headbutt, a chest slam, an overhead kick, or some kind of high kick. You won't know when you won't have any control over what you do. That makes it incredibly difficult to intercept a pass, because most of the time, the best you could do is block the shot. Because of how narrow the view is and how large the pitch is, you don't have any kind of awareness of what's happening around you, or even ability to manage your own team. Naturally, the AI doesn't have any such problems, and so it is going to steamroll you. In all the time I played, I managed to make one shot on the opponent's goal. Any other time that I got control over the ball, I immediately got swarmed by 3 AI players, and attempting to pass the ball was useless because I didn't know where the rest of my teammates were. And even if I did pass it in their general direction, there were always AI players already there. One small mercy is that the goalie can be automatically handled by the computer, though it seems to like to tackle the ball even when I'm controlling it. This is one of those games that is totally unremembered in Japan. The kind of game that's so unremarkable that it's never talked about. When I was going into playing Goal, I was thinking, I hated the original Moero Pro Soccer, but it's been 4 years. I bet Jaleco's made a lot of great improvements since then, and this one will probably turn out to be okay. And nope, this was a completely miserable playing experience. Just getting my teeth kicked in over and over and over again. They made it incredibly difficult to do even the most basic things, and then pit you against a computer that isn't weighed down by the massive disadvantages of the control scheme and interface, there's just no fun to be had with this one. Jaleco has made a game that visually represents soccer about as well as it can get on an 8-bit console, and then they made it play like this. Goal is definitely not worth that price tag.